Okay. Do we want our special guest to read the taglines? Is that what we said?
Do it.
Yeah? Okay.
I can't read from
Okay.
here.
No, I got you.
I can't read.
Right?
It's like,
Can you read that one? Yeah?
I am so
You got
blind. Can you make it bigger?
No. Okay, I'll read it.
You read them.
Okay.
I can't read things.
Yeah, you know how this goes. Okay, so you bring the pizza, I'll bring the drill.
I never thought that would be a combination of things. But
you know, I mean, if we were on a construction site or something.
I love pizza.
Okay.
I love drills.
Oh my god.
Match made in heaven.
The ultimate driller, killer, thriller.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was
Right?
really catchy.
That's catchy,
I like
right?
that. I like
Right?
that.
It makes people, but people go like, there was ones, well, actually there is ones before this. There was one called The Driller Killer in 1979. We'll get into that. So I guess, like, yeah, that works. And then, the last but not least, close your eyes for a second and sleep forever.
Oh, that kind of ties in
sounds-
better with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that makes me think of like sweet little warm naps in my bed.
Yeah.
Right? This is before Nightmare, though. So, with count 'em, 3 separate scenes of nudity, 1 decapitation, 2 drilled out eye sockets, 2 slashes to the gut, 1 drill bit throat slash, 1 hand hacked, 3 run and stabs, countless running with power tool moments, 7 drill kills, and 12 deaths altogether, with an estimated budget of estimated budget of a mere $250,000.
Damn.
And a gross of $3,500,000 and change, an IMDb score of 5.7 out of 10, no metric score to report, and with 14 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, with a score coming in at 36% rotten, it's 1982's Slumber Party Massacre. Let's drop some bombs.
Dolomite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Tell them there is something loose in their city, something which feeds on wishes.
Oh, hi, Rachel. What are you doing? I was just putting in your people.
Blah, 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 girl power, feminism, do you know what I mean?
Oh, baby, we go to rock and roll.
Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
Welcome to Bombs Away. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
I'm Jarrett Seifert, and I didn't bring my drill.
And also joining us in chair number 3 is first-time listener. No.
Oh.
No. Long-time listener, first-time guest, Abbie Bauer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am the token female voice for this episode.
Yay! Token female voice.
So this doesn't come off as sexist.
That's exact. Yep. I said, so yeah, there's this thing, right? Which is actually what we're attending tomorrow, Beyond Fest up in Hollywood.
Okay.
Now, Beyond Fest is celebrating cult classics and horror and just, I mean, look it up. You guys figure it out. I mean, most of the people, welcome to the show. First-time listeners out there, a lot of them will be from Beyond Fest, so they already know what it is. They're like, yeah, skip it, get past it. So, they're doing Slumber Party 1 and 2 up there as a double feature tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And we're going up to present, saying, hey, you watch the movie, listen to our show. You know, why not, right? And so with that, it seems that they've teamed up with Cinematic Void and Beyond Fest, and got the directors of both movies involved to do a Q&A in between the screenings. And they're presenting this as a very, as it is, a very feminist, strong movie. And we wanted to make sure that while we are poking fun at it, and we definitely enjoyed ourselves with these movies, we also want to make sure that we did have a female voice to say, hey, no, it's okay. It's okay. So first off, like I said, this is definitely, like I said, we enjoyed ourselves. Did we not? Like, this was a blast, right? And this is Slumber Party 1. Episode 22 is Slumber Party 2 that we'll also be doing today. And then we also did the Drinking Party Massacre, which is our little DVD kind of commentary, like a director's commentary would be over top the film. And you can see that right now in its entirety on YouTube, or you can actually sync up. We had it as an extra bonus track right in our normal Apple and Google feed that you can sync up with your copy of Slumber Party if you have it sitting at home. So with that being said, you ready to dive in, guys?
Yeah, I wish I could have gotten that commentary, but my dog was dying.
Oh, jeez. How awkward.
No, it's true.
And
she
that's
is
the
dying,
end of
though.
the episode.
Yeah.
It's the last time I show up here.
I know, right? She just totally she bombed the episode. I mean, she took her title way too literal. So, yeah, I had a blast with this.
I liked it a lot.
I loved it.
Right?
I like the weapon choice.
This is the most interesting concept, and you said it before, was this like choice of a cordless power drill.
Yes, in 1982. Where did he get that? Where can I buy that? Like, I could build a house with
But it
that.
wasn't even like a cordless power drill. It was like a cordless cement drill. Like, it was way more than just your basic power drill.
It was very industrial.
It had like
It was.
a shoulder pad for you to even just like hold it like a gun, like a butt of a gun against it. I was like, okay.
Oh, the extra stability
Yeah.
handles and everything? Yeah.
I was like, all right. Cool.
I mean, I know drills like that exist now, like heavy-duty ones for drilling concrete and cement and things like that. But back then, wow, right? First
I don't
off,
have any drill knowledge of anything prior to 2000.
But I liked
I don't
it.
know.
There.
So before we dive in, I did want to preface this. We'd like to, at the same time, honor someone who's passed that was an integral part of this film. Robin Still, or Steele, I apologize if I got it wrong, but who played Valerie, the final girl. One of the final girls, actually. There's 3 final girls in this movie. Unfortunately passed away, and we wanted to make sure that, all respect's paid for that. And
the first one gets mad respect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, right? It's like, as much as we're going to poke fun at this, it was also kind of designed that way.
A beautiful film.
Yeah.
It was a good horror movie. It felt like a legitimate horror movie.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike the second one.
Which is why I was like, I was really
Don't even
surprised. You're going to get started, don't worry. No, I was surprised that this hasn't been remade. And someone, and I wouldn't be surprised if within the next few years someone revisits it and does a new Slumber Party Massacre.
And makes it meta and fun and comedic at the same time. Yeah, I'm super surprised.
Well, I hope they add more backstory, because we got none of it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
we got 3
not really.
radio broadcasts that shut that off.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we don't want to hear.
Every single time they did a radio broadcast, people were like, nah.
And I was like, I want to know!
And one newspaper.
Yeah. So, the movie starts off with your typical, scenes of a neighborhood. And
2 minutes in, we see boobs.
Right?
Yeah.
2 minutes! I timed it. I paused on my video, and I was like, that's 2 minutes.
And every time we see boobs, you feel creepy like you're the killer, because it lingers so long.
Even I felt like the killer. I felt weird watching it, and I was like, I have boobs.
Right? I mean, it sat there, and usually movies will be like, tops off, count to 1, 2, cut. Right? This was like, no, just go ahead.
She just slowly
stay there,
takes her shirt off.
Just stick on it.
And that dress, was that dress form-fitted for her? Because they held her boobs real well.
Yes. As a female, I'm just saying, she went to school without putting a bra on. And that is painful, walking around all day without a bra on. And then she went and played basketball, still not wearing a bra.
No sports bra, no nothing?
No sports bra. I don't think she did. She didn't bring a bra with her. Did she put it in her purse? I don't know. Is it in her locker?
Just carrying a bra in her purse, like, you
I
never
don't want to
know.
put this on, but I might need it later for basketball.
Jackie, no, you're Larry Bird, you ain't.
Larry Bird, you ain't.
We see her getting dressed, and then she's like putting all of these dolls and things like
she's like,
into
I'm
a paper.
18.
Right? It's
I gotta get rid of all my baby toys.
Happy birthday! Time to throw shit away.
I was expecting it was something that like she like was told to do, like, hey, clean up your room a bit, or
Right.
she was like, I need to like, but it's never talked about.
No.
And the only purpose of it is for later in the film that a doll covered in blood can be put in a
it's
windowsill.
just a setup. There's no reason for her doing it.
Right.
Zero reason. Like
Which
put 'em
she
in a box.
also like is
Look
like
at 'em later.
the boys are messing with me. How do the boys even know you had a Barbie doll that would connotate
Right?
to
Because it seems like something you're embarrassed about. You're not
Right.
talking about it.
right? But why is she embarrassed about the slinky? Why'd she throw the
Yeah,
slinky
that's
away?
like the thing.
I was like, that'll be
but she left the
useful when
creepy
you're
doll
bored.
on there. This like stuffed doll thing. That
Those
was just
stuffed
terrifying.
clowns.
Those are the kind of dolls that were like pantyhose that were stuffed with cotton.
Yeah. Ugh.
Weird, creepy dolls that you put on your like front lawn that like bend over in the garden. That kind of stuff.
That
She
would have been
kept
the
that
first
one.
one I threw away.
Yes.
When I got it as a
Aunt
gift.
Matilda gave me this one. I hated. So, did you also notice that there's multiple rooms in this movie that are color coordinated in every single way.
Yeah.
Like hers is like all pink and flowers, and then you have like
The all like blue green floral room.
yes, where the boys are about to make out on the bed. It seems.
Yeah. They're like, we got to do this together. But
Let's split up.
separate.
No, let's stick together.
Let's stick our tongues in each other's mouths. Stick together.
Oh God, I love females.
Well, the entire time I was looking at this boys, I'm like, it's growing pains. That's
Yeah.
all I see.
Yeah.
And dad jeans. Like that's all I got from them.
Real.
But then the blue room is blue, but it also has a blue phone. Like, there's,
Yeah.
which historically speaking, the
Blue.
owner of the house, there's some fans of the film. I watched this extra like special features of documentary that was on YouTube, and there were some fans of the film that went to the current owner's house, and he talks about how it's like they actually painted the rooms like this, and then they like promised to paint them back, and they didn't, and
We just kept
like
it.
something like that, or maybe he said they did put them back, but it was really interesting. You can actually go and see that house right now. But I would knock first, just don't break in like the killer.
Creep in the window.
Okay,
Kill the pizza boy.
so back to the two boys because we're
Well,
introduced
before
to them,
that though,
right?
we are introduced to creepy neighbor
Yeah.
because her parents leave.
The creepy neighbor
Maui
that is-
Wowie.
He's
Creepy
like,
neighbor, which for parents of a young woman, like why would you let your creepy male neighbor be
Yeah.
the one that watches her?
Well, because he carries around a butcher knife at night, like she's totally safe.
he also though was like,
with his weird Hawaiian shirt.
he was like aged but also young.
Yeah.
He looked like
He was like Steve Martin, like at 18, with like he was,
was
young,
weird.
but he had gray
Yeah.
hair.
I was like, I thought he was the same age as her, and then it kind of, he didn't look it, but he did look. He was playing multiple ages at once, and I was really floored by that.
And
still.
he was in her house, like when she got home.
He's like the weird uncle that you don't really want to invite to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. He's never done anything creepy, but then like,
But you
would,
suspect.
you wouldn't be surprised
You
if he
wouldn't.
did something creepy. You'd be like, finally, we figured it out.
He's
molesting
No,
goats."
that wasn't my intention at all. So, yeah, the creepy guy, and then, what I guess we can only assume is Russ Thorne grabs
The
off
Barbie doll.
screen the Barbie doll, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But so does that mean that Russ is really following Trish around the whole movie?
I guess.
I don't know. Why did he pick her?
I don't know
Because he wanted to sleep with her.
because
I was
you would.
like, I don't. It's the only.
He loved her.
Yeah, he's like,
He
I
loved
love
her.
You.
Well, I didn't even get what his name was.
That was on the newspaper.
It was on the newspaper?
And it was
see,
on the
well,
radio.
I'm blind. I can't see. I can't read that newspaper either. It was moving too fast.
I thought I was watching a different movie. I thought this was Halloween.
I must have blinked when that moment happened.
Okay.
It catches it for like a
the
second.
newspaper boy throws it. It's like one of the first shots.
Okay.
So you were probably still getting your feelers
Well, I was
of
just
what
like,
the movie
dude
is.
kills people, and I was like, that's all I got from it. Was like
Yeah.
the headline of man that escapes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, it said Russ Thorne, and then I think they've
Thorne.
mentioned it a couple times. That's how I'm going to mention him. Other people are like, oh, the driller killer, DK, you know?
Donkey Kong.
But no, it's Russ Thorne. I'm calling him Russ the whole time. So Russ is going to do everything in this movie. So now we're at the school.
They're playing basketball.
And
no bras on.
Well, we have the phone lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, hot phone lady.
Extremely overly hot phone lady.
I've never seen a phone lady. Where are they?
Thank you.
I was
right?
okay
I was
with
like,
it,
I
though.
can't say
They're
it.
just old dudes. That's all I've
Right?
seen.
Old dudes that you don't
Who
want.
hired
Creepy
them?
guys with
What
plumber's
company?
crack.
The people that set up my charter internet, it was a lady as well.
Was she
really-
hot?
Well, did she have like
I
a
think
very
so. I don't know,
firm
my brother was there.
buttocks?
Oh, that butt.
Oh,
That was a
girl.
good butt.
That was like, I think that was less than 5 minutes, and they already scanned her butt, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
they gave her the old up and down.
They did.
They checked her out. And then
Right?
the boys were like, you ever been with a younger man?
Let me
try
put
it.
this ladder in your car.
She's like, you're
Okay.
stupid. And then she dies right away. Which I
Russ
was
grabs her.
like, yeah.
No blood. No scream. She's
No,
screaming
there was
on,
blood.
She's screaming
There's
on the
like
car, though.
8
but
drops of blood. But
on the
also,
ceiling.
like,
It
On the
splashes
ceiling,
on the
yeah.
ceiling.
But
Yeah,
not
yeah.
when he takes her out of the van.
yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
No, it's the cleanest drill hole.
Also, she's like banging the window, and it's like,
Tap, 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 tap. And no, why can no
Well,
one
that's
hear
because
her?
that's because the organ music was too loud.
right?
But
I was like, when did they play an organ?
The
I was like,
Casio
all
was
right.
just like going off. They were like, keep it down. She can't. They can't hear her.
they were only like 20 feet away from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they could have easily been like, there's a construction plot over there. And then
Or
that
did
would have
they just-
explained where he
well,
got the
Or
drill
did they just
from.
forget about her because they were interested in her, and
Yeah.
then she like was like,
Turn them down. So
I guess.
they're like, yeah, die, bitch.
And they leave. Well, then
They heard her.
Then
So
later they
rude.
leave and they walk past her van, and they're just like, oh, she's still here.
Well, this is the thing. It doesn't matter like if they would have hurt her or not, because Russ doesn't care if
Yeah.
he's caught. He runs
Oh.
in the middle of daylight. He must have dragged her in broad daylight to the dumpster because the van has never moved.
is this
Yeah.
all happening after school? Because I remember in high school, there's always people lingering around. There would have been a
Always.
witness.
Yeah.
And also, why didn't she park her car closer to where she was? Like, the whole parking lot was empty.
Maybe it wasn't when she started her day there. Okay.
Maybe basketball was like an after-school activity.
Yeah.
I guess, but
But
still.
next week they start their next sport.
That's right. Yeah.
they do.
Because
It's
they
just
have
so
rotating sports schedules where they only play against other classmates. They don't play against other schools.
No. It's just like
Right.
extracurricular.
Yeah.
It's not like actual varsity or anything.
Right? But then we get to that basketball scene where you get introduced to the coach and some of the other girls. And,
They all kind of look the same.
yeah, they're all like, we're white with brown hair. And then there's like
One
African
Jackie.
American.
Jackie's the
there's
African
one
American. Yeah.
girl with blonde hair. And it's like, other than that, it's very much like, yeah, cookie cutter.
And they're already angry at each other.
Oh,
Yes.
they have so much anger for one girl because she's new and pretty and has perfect eyebrows.
No,
And she's really good at the sport.
Oh yeah, she plays basketball well.
Yeah.
No, apparently she likes milk. That's why they didn't want to be friends with her. I wrote it down.
Bitch
Harvey
has got,
Milk?
She says-
bitch has got to drink Pepsi. It's all over the second movie. so-
Literally, one of the girls says that she doesn't like her because she drinks too much milk.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Okay.
I were both taking a drink at the exact same time. Like, we'll get back to it.
Because this is the interesting part for me is that like I was so. Are you talking about the shower scene? This is what they're
No, I'm talking
about.
before the shower scene when they're talking about planning the party.
Oh,
and what's
okay.
her name? Denise? Is that the one girl that
That has the weird
has
eyebrows.
the weird eyebrows?
She looks like April Ludgate.
A
Or
little
no,
bit.
she looks like a mix of April Ludgate and Allison Brie.
Yes, Alison Brie. Yes,
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, I know
They're
exactly what you're
talking
talking
they're
about.
talking about throwing this like slumber party thing, and then what's her name is trying to invite Valerie.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
she's
mean
like-
Diane, the one who's
Diane,
like
yes, Diane.
Diane, stripy shirt.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Diane's
yeah.
like, no, she can't come. She drinks too much milk, and it's like, why? How is that a bad thing?
We've got a strict run on milk right now.
She has an
Because-
advantage to us on the court.
Because she's a snob and only the best people are.
Yeah. God, all the best people are. I was like, shut up. That just you're making excuses for people to hate you. Like,
shut up, Diane. You're about to leave the group.
Why did they just not invite Diane to the party?
I know, right? Because they already were like, go ahead.
I know.
Go with John Mayer. It's cool.
John.
Right? John,
but she
yellow hoodie
she is super
Mayer.
Strong, though.
Super
Diane.
strong. John Mayer is like a foot taller, and she just flips him over
She's like,
when he
whoop.
tries to grab her. Another off-screen hand grab.
I loved that part, too.
But John Mayer also is a huge fashion faux pas, as he wears a hoodie that matches the color of his hair.
And his skin.
He's just a yellow crayon.
I know, he was. He was just...
I'm a Teletubby.
It's like whenever you get those crayons that are kind of like blended together with the colors. He was just like 3 blended together, but all the colors were just close enough.
Yeah.
Ever see, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the tie-dye crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he's like a bad tie-dye crayon.
So they're in the locker room and they're in the shower.
Oh yeah.
And
butt washing.
Right. This is a point where like I feel like the camera had a mind of its own, and basically, how do I put it? So I feel like the camera had a mind of its own. And was like panning over, being like butt, right? And then it was like, let's go down and check out that butt, right? And then it was like, yeah, you know what? The top was better. Let's go back up. It literally
well, it's at the top. You see her like wash her butt, and then it goes down to her butt, and then like it goes back up, and then she washes her butt again. Like there's something against showing a hand in a butt crack that the camera couldn't accept, but it still wanted you to know that she had a butt. And it was soapy.
But they scanned all the white girl butts, but I wanted to see the other girl's butt.
Oh.
The tan girl's butt. I wanted to see her butt, and I didn't get to see her butt.
So the director of this movie, right, who they're specifically, historically speaking, her name is Amy Jones. So when I refer to Amy Jones, you know who I'm talking about. Okay.
Indy's daughter.
Indiana Jones. So historically speaking, she was an editor, and she turned down editing E.T. for Spielberg to direct this movie. Right?
I think
because
she made
wanted
the better choice.
Yeah, she wanted the opportunity to, like, because a director, it's like, I don't know.
Hey,
Can you name one director by name?
Can I name one E.T. character?
Elliot. Or E.T.
I walked into that one and my face hurts.
So
wait, can I name a director? Michael Bay.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask the name directors. I said editors.
I thought you said director.
And
that's
why out of all the directors were you like Michael Bay?
Because
I thought you were asking for female directors.
No,
you legitimately
I said editor.
You said
editor. Oh.
I did say editor.
Okay, well, I'm blind and deaf, apparently.
Because I said, can you name any editors offhand?
I think he said
right,
director.
exactly. So she actually had a chance to be a director and took it, and this is what came out. And I, like, it's a great thing. And she also wrote the original screenplay for it, and this was all submitted to. Yeah.
Sorry, that's just I still hate that from Spice World. Based off an idea.
Yeah.
Everything kind of is. Spice World.
So she directed a promo for this film, right? For $1,000, she directed basically the first like 3 scenes to show that she could do like suspense and like do shot composition and also like dialogue, right? Submitted it to Roger Corman, who is the producer of this film, and numerous cult classics and stuff that could literally fill up our repertoire for at least 2 years worth of stuff,
cool.
right? He did all the slumber parties. And he saw it and was like, how much did you do? And she was like $1,000. And he was like, you got a career in this business. Like, let's do this.
Good.
So, but with all Roger Corman movies, like sex, drugs, rock and roll, that kind of stuff had to happen. Right. So this was her being like, here's all your nudity. Let's get it out. Out of the way.
First 5 minutes.
Right. And that's what this shower
Blow
scene
your load
was.
and move on. Come on.
Right. And she tried to film it as tastefully as possible.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice having like a female like kind of be behind that.
Yeah.
Right.
Film other females.
Yeah. So
also, it's nice knowing that all these girls wash their butt cracks.
Absolutely.
Yes, they're very clean.
Good on their hygiene.
So
but they do share the soap, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Really-
Because it was right after she came out the butt crack. It was like, here's my butt crack soap. It's like, there's a hair on it.
So Trish invites Valerie, who's like, sorry, you can't make it. Right, and then
she overheard everyone talking about
Right.
it. The milk incident.
Right.
Milkgate.
Well, it's like
I'm sorry.
they're talking about her
I have to
once in the
drink my milk.
shower, and then they're also talking about her once out of the shower. But in the shower, they're like, it was like they're talking about how good she was in basketball, but it made him mad when they're in the shower. But she overhears it, and she's upset about that. I'd be like, all right, your problem. But it also is high school to where it's like, no one likes me.
Yeah.
So I understand both sides of that coin.
When you guys were in high school, did you guys like take showers and stuff like in that sort of?
Oh no,
I
thank
didn't
God
have
didn't.
gym at all.
You didn't
so.
take gym
We
at
know.
all.
Well, I did. Okay. I'm
Are
like
you surprised,
all
Abbie?
right.
No, I'm
yeah,
not,
look at me.
but-
Yeah. No. Oh God. All right. Do you want quick 2-minute tangent? Do you want one like
no,
this?
but I mean, like because my high school. I mean, I don't remember. People took showers next to in the water polo team, but
some
like there's
did.
curtains. Like they're not these like little urinals kind of that this high school.
This is
looks like
also
it
the
had.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those who did want to take showers that I remember, there was just like this. It was just like here's an open. Basically, it was just a square, and along the wall and three sides of the wall.
Our showers were storage.
What?
Our showers were used as storage.
Where were you? A prison?
They were old schools. They're fine.
Storage.
Right?
It was like one of those like trailers, those double wide trailers.
Oh, I hate.
Yeah.
I'm not even getting started.
Anyway, so
school.
School.
So then, so they get out of the shower, and then they're all putting on their bras. Some of them are putting on their bras, I should say. And they're
some don't have bras.
Yeah,
Trish,
their old boobs out,
and
they all have really great boobs.
I'm just saying, after 8 hours and running around, your boobs hurt.
Yeah. Well, I
not
can
having
imagine.
them contained, it hurts.
Ugh.
So they leave the school, right? But one of them is like, "Oh my God, I forgot my like book in my locker."
Yes, her book.
Right?
Because she's got to study for a test on Monday.
Right.
She's got to study on a Friday.
That's
night.
Linda.
Nerd.
Now Linda, she's like, I forgot it. I got it. So this is where
Linda could have made it.
Linda totally could have made it. One, like, what was she like doing? Like looking out the window right before he like scraped her arm. Like, what was she doing?
Oh, she was
there?
trying to get out the door and
Out
be
the door,
like,
yeah.
"Can anyone out
Because
there
it was
help
like
me?"
chained.
No, this is before he reveals himself. Like the first stab, she was at that window down the hall.
No, she was at a door.
Oh, that's what
It
I
was a
mean. But
door.
like
Like a
but
double-
she wasn't trying to run away from anything yet.
No, she was just trying to get out of the school building.
Oh, and she was just
trying
locked
to
in.
leave.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because in that day, like
I missed that.
I
Sorry.
remember, like, I know it didn't happen at my school, and now, like, I'm sure doors are different. But I remember it was either in like middle school or
I remember
grade school. They
chains.
like would legit lock all of the doors, even like you couldn't even leave.
Yeah.
I was like,
My
that's
elementary school was
insane.
like that.
Yeah,
I remember chains. Yeah.
I remember chains. Not at my school, but I remember them.
So, so Russ comes up and has a perfect opportunity to just like
Kill her
right off the bat,
Right?
Yeah.
and is like, "Whoops!" First time with the drill, like, which is another thing. Is it just me, or did Russ get the drill?
From the school?
No,
From the phone lady.
Phone,
phone
right?
lady.
I don't
That
think
makes
he had a
sense.
weapon
Think
before
about
that,
that.
and then he's
No.
just like, "This kind of worked out. Let's just
Yeah.
keep this going," right?
I didn't even think about that.
And maybe that's why he's so like kind of sloppy sometimes about it, because
Yeah.
like this isn't the only kill where he's like, "Whoops!" Like
Yeah.
I only got you in the shoulder. I had
misses
a
a
pure
bunch.
opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He could have killed Jeff, and he gets him. And he's like, my shoulder."
He really shouldn't miss as much as he does because his eyes are wide open the
He does
entire
not
movie.
blink.
But maybe they're so dry that he can't see because he's not blinking.
I like
I
when,
was like, "Ah!"
I like when he hides under the blanket and he tries to make his eyes wider than they already are.
And he smiles going down like Russ is taking a nap. I feel like he would talk in third person too.
Russ is taking a nap now.
Russ is tie-tie.
I love blankets.
Cuddles
so-
up his
That's
girl.
way ahead of us. Right
Yeah.
now.
I know.
Oh,
yeah.
it's yeah.
Welcome to the show,
that's
Abby.
literally like
I
the end
thought
of the
you were a
movie.
long-time listener.
She's a first-time listener. You said it yourself.
That's right.
Said it.
So he misses. She runs, and then she hides in like the towel room.
The shower area, yeah.
Well,
she runs in the shower area.
Not before they do like
It's
a zigzag.
It's the cage of the shower area.
Yes.
Right? And the actor that played Russ is Michael Villelli. I'm sorry, it's Villella. Michael Villella.
Yeah.
Right? And he said that everybody said that he was a method actor. Basically, he would not talk to the girls until he killed them.
Oh.
Right? So like it kept like if they were doing like craft services at the food table and stuff like that, he would like get his food real quick and then like go hide in a corner or something. You know?
That's me. They're like, Jarrett's a method actor. I'm like, no, I'm an introvert. Sorry.
And then basically would introduce himself after like he killed him on screen.
Hi, you're dead.
Yeah. But another thing, he said that he based his like walking and his like head movements and stuff on like
a turtle.
He said a peacock, and I was like, but why? And that's what he's doing. He's like peacocking through the locker rooms here, and and she hides in the towel room, and then is like, I gotta clean up this blood.
But like, she would have left a trail.
No, see, this is what's happening. Because it defies gravity. Like, it totally gets
the
wicked.
lack of blood trails?
No, so whenever he's standing outside of the door, there isn't a blood trail at all. But then, like, it's supposed to be that and then when it first pans on her as well, there's no blood on the ground. So I think it's supposed to be like she's bleeding and it's leaking out the door. Mm-hmm. But there's a door, like, there at the bottom of the door, there's like maybe like a 1/4 inch bump up. And the blood goes up that and then back down on the other side.
Oh, like the marble lip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lip of the door. Thank you.
Yeah.
The blood somehow goes over that and starts leaking
door
out.
jam.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I thought door jams were only on the sides.
I don't
know door.
No, I was talking about the blood. It looked like jam.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
So mad.
I got to do one corny
she's
joke.
She's trying to clean up the blood. But it is like going over that. We'll call it a door jam.
Yeah,
the
but
marble
plus,
lip.
it's already under there, so it's like, why are you trying to clean this blood up?
But that's the thing. Like, there wasn't a trail whenever it first started, and it was all kind of an afterthought. Like, we got to catch him somehow.
Right.
But it's also like we don't see this kill. But
so
I'm assuming she's dead.
Right, because like, did anybody see on the door? It said drill procedures, like emergency drill procedures.
Yeah, that's good.
It said
a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah, it said emergency drill procedures there, and then like also down the hall, it said join the drill team.
Oh,
so funny.
God, that's so good. So many puns. I love it.
Right? So I want to take a screenshot and I'll put it on the
so
Instagram because that was like, and I'll circle it and be like, there it is. Yeah, it was just interesting and funny, but like. Also, he drills through the door to get to her, right?
Yes.
And instead of being like, I should move or maybe grab something and fight back, she's just like, ah!
Yeah, she's just there. She's just sitting there, like taking it,
accepting defeat.
And then immediately it cuts over to like Russ is like, I gotta move my car before I get towed. Like,
he runs out so wonky too that it should have just been like, because he's going so fast, and the drill's like also counterbalancing him.
I hope nobody sees all this blood on me in broad daylight.
Not enough blood, and then of course it pans over to woman in the trash can.
Well, that was before that, but still,
but
it's the same thing where I'm like, this guy has no shame because later in the movie, he's only like he's still got like 5 people in the house to kill, and he's like, let's set this pizza guy up for a reveal, right? He's like, he's that confident. He's like, nobody's gonna catch me at the school. Nobody's gonna find this body in the dumpster, and I'm gonna strategically hide everybody in the house, and only reveal it when I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, it's
Diane
and John Meyer, right? And
she flips him over her shoulder.
Yep.
Real great. She kisses him.
Yeah. So we know that they're dating. Right?
And he's like, let's do it tonight. And she's like, I got to go to a sleepover.
Right?
She's like bummed about it, where I'd be like, oh, cool, I got friends.
What's up?
Oh, wait, we forgot to talk about the peephole.
No, that's next. That's right now.
Next?
Yeah.
Because the gym coach, the like subtle lesbian peephole moment. It was it wasn't subtle at all.
I was just putting in your peephole.
And then magically there's a people inserted into the door.
Like immediately, but it's like hanging, dangling. It was like, you can do better.
She hasn't had much
She puts the
people
people
work.
in and she just leaves.
Right?
Yeah. No. And then we switch back over to Trish.
Oh, Scary Cat.
Well, Scary Cat is like, this keeps jumping back and forth between her and Coach Jana. But why it keeps switching to Coach Jana, I don't know. So this movie is like 3 movies in one because it's like, here's Coach Jana's story. She's sitting home alone doing nothing. Here's
drinking wine out of
with
a
her
glass.
cat. She has a cat.
with her cat, and she's shaving cheese for quesadillas.
Right?
And
She's like, this is going to be a great dinner alone.
Right?
And then a tear rolls down her cheek. I swear I'm happy.
And then we have the second story is the misadventures of Valerie and Courtney home alone.
I loved Courtney.
Right? Yeah. Right? Courtney, who
Beating
always
up
looks like
boys
she's
is the
she's
fifth grade.
preparing to get ready for a Hooter shift.
Yeah.
Yes, those orange shorts.
Jeez.
And then we have the actual Slumber Party. It's like 3 movies that wind up like just
Converging.
running into each other by
And
the
then
end
creepy
of the movie.
neighbor is just
Literally.
there every now and then.
Yeah. But he was introduced from the beginning, and he's kind of just still lingering around, which is what's happening right now. So Trish is like, I hear a scary noise. I better play the piano to drown it out.
Yeah.
Her off-key piano.
And then the neighbor is like, hey, I was just in your house.
It was open. I just
Well,
came
yeah,
in.
she walks downstairs to find out what the noise was, and then the front door's just open, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird," and locks everything. And I'm like, "That's."
And then plays the
if
piano.
I find the door open, I'm not gonna lock everything. I'm gonna like leave.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lock myself in, because that's what happens. Then someone pops up behind you, and you're like, the chain.
I mean, this
son
happens
of a-"
multiple
Yeah.
times. Like, hey, guys, none of the fuses are blown, but they are missing. It's not weird.
Not creepy at all.
It's not weird. I mean, fuses kind of just walk up and get out get out there.
They were needed
Roll away.
elsewhere.
Okay, so after this, the girls come over, right? And they're like, I got beer
Look
for my
what I
brother,
scored from my
right?
brother.
I got some Maui Wowie. And I'm like, thank God we've evolved from calling it that.
Right. It's California. Now
Right?
it's just pot. And everyone's bored of it already.
Yeah. It's super boring. Like, as soon as I moved across the country and it was legal, I was like, well, we're done here.
All right, cool.
Right? It's not dangerous and exciting at all anymore. So this is another situation where I said, I love their like catty girl dialogue because they're talking about Diane and they're like, what did they see in John Mayer? And it's like, what did she say? It's not the size of the mouth or something. What was it? It's it's not the size of the mouth. It's what's in it that counts. Because she's like, she's got a big mouth, right? And I was like, this is awesome. Like these girls got one-liners that I only dream of on this show. And then there's another one that she says, what'd she see in John Minor? And she goes, maybe it's what we can't see. And I'm like, that's an in the pants reference. It was good.
Or they're just talking about his personality.
I'm sure they are. So, okay, where are we?
They're taking their clothes off.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, again.
Yes.
Oh, so we're back at the beginning.
They're changing into the longest basketball jersey possible.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And this is also whenever they're talking about the basketball game. And they can't remember.
Which is super important to them.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we don't know who scored what 7 points.
So
Who
let's
did
call
it?
our coach, who's probably eating dinner alone.
Right.
She'll answer the phone.
Right.
No, I'm just here with my pussy.
Well, the coach is at home shaving cheese and has like a full glass of wine, but it's in just like, I hope she's not drinking juice. But she's like, it looks like red wine, and it's just in like a normal glass cup. It's not even in like a wine glass. And I was like, I like the coach already. That's how we drink
I
here.
can relate.
I was like, yeah. It's basically what container can fit a whole half of a wine bottle, so I don't feel as bad, but it also looks a lot worse.
Well,
You're like, I would agree.
yes. Well, I was her a couple days ago. I did. I live with a cat.
I was her last night. I just passed out, though, after I had a glass. I was like, oh, God. Red wine really takes you down.
Nice.
And then So she breaks the glass, and she hears a noise, and she, like, picks up the glass shard, which I was like, she's thinking smart.
But also, it's like,
also,
if she stabbed one
hand.
thing, her hand's done too. Yeah.
She's down.
Yeah.
She's like, oops.
And then Cat scares her.
Which all cats often accidentally get shut in closets and then jump out of the top of them to try and kill you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And right,
Every
and
movie.
every cat is just always screaming.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do a cat noise. I'm sorry. I'll try to edit that out.
Yeah, thank you. My ears hurt.
And then, so that's that scene.
Yeah.
Another false scare, and then we're back over to Valerie and Courtney, and they hear a noise outside, and the trash cans like fall over, and
Courtney's the smart one. She's like, I'm not going out alone.
Yeah,
but then her sister.
Goes out alone.
Right.
Because her sister's not smart.
The dogs are in the trash again. What dogs?
Do they have dogs? I didn't see any dogs.
I never saw a dog in this film.
No.
Besides, maybe the boys.
Oh.
They were dogs.
Yeah, I get it.
They were pigs.
Right. Because they were watching the girls undress in that previous scene we mentioned.
And they're like, one of them's huddled
where they're like
them.
talking as loud as we are right now through an open window.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, oh man, this is a dream come true.
This is heaven.
I'm not gay.
Right? Why are you poking me in the back? And he's like, oh, sorry. He's
I
like,
feel like
I
that's
didn't
the
say
stereotypical
stop.
line though that guys say whenever they're looking at women, like in a like
Oh,
they're
I'm in
creeping.
heaven.
I'm in heaven.
Right?
Because it was in this one and the second one.
Yeah. Why? This is heaven for you?
No.
This is it?
Heaven is just molestation. Ugh.
Oogling and outside of a window. And then, so Courtney goes and picks up the trash, right? Puts the brick inside the trash can.
Instead of on top of.
Right. And then looks over and is like, oh my God, why are there ski lifts in my backyard? Because it looked like it did. It looked like a ski lift chairs. And then.
Well, it was Valerie that did that.
What did I say, Courtney?
Courtney.
I'm sorry. Yes, Valerie did that. And then John Minor shows up? Is that where we are?
Well, she like goes back in the house.
She runs back in the house.
Runs back in the house.
Like,
She's scared of the moving chairs.
Right.
But then they fall over again.
Later.
Right.
Later.
Oh, and this okay, so now we're back to the party where there's like Twinkies unwrapped and neatly
It's set in a
arranged.
dish.
Yes.
Presentation. It's all presentation.
Yes. And then
and this is when
with the neighbor?
The snail incident.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
Snailgate.
Well,
Okay.
so the girls. What we missed is the girls. Snailgate. Oh. So the girls are like,
these sons of bitches keep attacking my garden.
The girls
That's
have their
real horror.
They have their plate of Twinkies and they're eating and they go and they're hanging out in the living room and then they hear something break and it turns out it's a coffee pot like left on the burner and they're like, oh no. And as she's throwing it away, they look in the window and they see Diane, and Diane's just like, "Gotcha!" Like
I really like Diane.
Diane's funny, but she's also like the worst of them. And that's whenever we get Diane there. But then they force Diane to walk out to get the firewood, right?
Is it Diane to get some? Yeah, she's the one who gets the fire.
Because that's the whole snail incident.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's setting up the snails.
But they're like, Diane, go through the garage because we don't want to track dirt in the house. And I'm like, well, you already invited Diane in, so sorry. She's there already.
Yeah, so she goes out and gets the firewood, and then they're like, butcher knife, like on screen. You don't know who has the butcher knife, and then like it turns out to be the neighbor chopping up snails.
And he's like, 1 down, 20 to go.
He already knows there's 20?
I know.
So why didn't he chop them when he counted them?
He had to count them all first and be like, well, they don't move fast, so.
So why didn't he just use his foot?
Ugh. Have you ever accidentally stepped on a
Yes, I
snail?
have.
Oh, it's
Have you stepped on one
disgusting.
barefoot?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
So
It's
weird,
terrible.
right? Yeah, it's like snot.
I thought I stepped on like a really crunchy leaf, but it turns out it was just like a snail the size of like, just like a fist. It's disgusting.
But I think you said it earlier, before we started, like, why didn't he salt them
Yeah,
instead?
just like sprinkle some salt and be like,
yeah,
like
get
maybe
out of here,
that's
Gail.
too painful. Maybe it's like too painful for him, and he's like, well, I want to make it quick and easy.
Maybe he doesn't have enough salt.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any salt. He's not
Well,
a salty
all the salt
person.
is in his salt and pepper hair.
So yeah, that happens, and then the lights go out.
Yeah.
And this is the whole fuse thing, where they're like, oh, the fuse is in the garage. So they all go to the garage together, and they're like, oh, weird, like, the fuse is missing. Which is like,
spook 'em.
you should leave.
Yeah.
Right? This is your first you should leave.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well,
Also, telephone lady is not there to help them put their electricity back. So,
Yeah.
like, they don't know what they're doing.
Well, also, telephone lady wouldn't know what she's doing either. Because she's a telephone lady.
Not an electrician.
I just assume she's the same lady.
Can you name one character from E.T.? I can't.
It was a tragic mistake. We make mistakes. We learn. We move on.
That's right.
We grow.
So,
But I do know who Michael Bay is.
yeah. Like, who cares?
No one likes him anyway.
When are you going to do his movies?
Those movies explain themselves.
Thank you. So, somewhere along the line...
Oh, we forgot to talk about the Twilight Zone reference that happened.
Go on.
Remember when they're talking about going into the garage?
Mm-hmm.
The two girls were like, dee 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 dee
Yeah.
dee dee. Like,
Yeah.
they threw that in there, and
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool that they threw in the creepy little homage
Yeah.
kind of thing into the whole going
I
into the
didn't
garage
know what
alone.
they were. Yeah, I guess that's what they were referencing. But they were. She was like, "Let's go together," and then they do it. I was like, "Well, that's not creepy. That's the
Yeah.
opposite of creepy."
Yes,
They were
it
like,
is.
it was like they were trying to spook each other, but also having like that fun, giggly, like we're
'Cause
just
they're at a
having a
slumber
nice
party.
Right, but they're
Yeah.
also, because they don't look like high schoolers.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, why are you guys like scared or tormenting each other? Like, it doesn't play off for me, but whatever. So they go, and this is where they run into Fred and no, not Fred, Jeff and what's his name? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the other guy, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they run into Jeff and Neil, and Jeff is also wearing denim, so he kind of looks like Russ Thorne.
Yeah.
And she punches him.
No,
And
she hits him with the mag light,
Is it the mag light? That's
Yeah, she
right. The
clocks him with the
big,
mag
the
light.
big silver mag light.
and then he asks for a steak to be put on it.
Because he has a shiner.
Yeah. I was like, or just ice.
But
Yeah.
all they got are hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this thing because also we missed it that John Miner has shown up in his car.
Well,
and he's parked himself in the garage
this
no,
is
this
with Diane.
That's
That's
after.
No,
It's
this
after.
is actually intercut at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
But it's after getting
That-
hit in the face
yeah.
in the hot
Right.
dog moment. Because then,
Because then they lift the garage door and they
yeah, because he
park the
shows
car.
up and just starts honking. Like
Oh,
a
right,
real
right.
classy man.
right. Okay, yeah, because we're in the same
Yeah.
place. Basically, like, there's this thing that, because we mentioned shiners, where they're like, I don't have a steak for my shiner. You got anything else? And they're like, cut to Diane's boob.
Yeah. Boob with her nipple out.
Yeah, so that's where I
He's
was going.
tweaking
That right? Yeah. So John Miner showed up in this moment as well.
Oh, this is when she shuts the garage door and it looks like it crushes her foot, but she's 100%
yeah, it's so
okay.
close.
I was like, oh, because a door, like if you have ever opened a door and it's gone over a toe. Ooh.
But this is the whole setup for him getting into the house because she told Tiff, remember, told her to close the
Yeah.
the
She was
latch
like,
thing,
"Make sure you hit
and
the
she
latch."
didn't.
Mm.
Bad things are gonna happen.
And then
Yeah.
John Miner somehow gets his head cut off.
Which is have you guys seen the Grindhouse movies?
yeah, the Quentin Tarantino ones, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen the Thanksgiving like extra trailer? So this head decapitation, like down to the fact of her like grabbing him to like kiss him on the head, and the head kind of rolls off in her hands, is what Eli Roth used as an inspiration for like when it happens in that movie.
Nice.
So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I've seen this before because I'd seen the Grindhouse things.
I've seen this before,
Yeah,
because
it's
I've seen this
definitely a
before.
reference. Like, it's very clear cut that that's what it is. But yeah, he's decapitated off screen,
Yeah.
and then Diane's like running around the garage.
But my question is this a detached garage? Like, how
Yeah.
did so they didn't know that he was like parking the car?
It's a detached garage, but you have to go through the garage to get out of the backyard, which is a weird setup of how a backyard house garage combo works.
Well, it's also a yard with a pool, so it's probably one of those like cement surrounded ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it probably also has a side gate, but maybe it's like locked at all times.
On the other side of the house where the wood pile was not.
Yeah, because like like basically all rules say that when you have a pool, you got to make sure that it's fenced in and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm sure that there was some sort of limitations.
Laws.
I'll give them that one. Okay, if we want to go up and check the house, we can.
Oh, true.
We can just disprove.
Little adventure.
Yeah, the whole thing. So this is also where it's like painfully obvious that the drill is a symbol for basically penis.
Yeah, because she's sitting on the ground looking up at him.
Right.
The crotch shot. Butt crotch shot.
The iconic crotch shot from the poster and like all marketing with like the bit itself like between the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, right. As soon as you see it, you're like, I get it. That's cool. Right? Because he loves them.
He loves them.
And they're going to like it.
Yeah, he loves them to death.
So...
But
right in
like,
this moment,
well, she's like screaming, and they do the whole stereotypical blender playing so no one can hear. But yet Valerie at her house heard them.
Heard the honking.
Heard the whole thing.
She's like, I heard honking and screams.
Yeah.
But yet people who are actually in the house do not hear.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I just had to say that.
But no, I pointed it out. It's in my notes too. I got you. I got you, boo.
Well,
so.
Then, meanwhile, because we haven't touched on Valerie and Courtney in a while,
right?
They've been.
Meanwhile, movie B.
I know. They're like worried. They're having these they have this weird dynamic of like we're sisters and we don't get along, but then we're sisters and we do get along, but then like we're braiding hair, but then like you're stealing my porn. And
it's playful, I think.
Was that Sylvester Stallone on that Playgirl?
It was.
Okay. it happened so quick, and I was like, I don't feel like rewinding.
But I like how Valerie was like, are you up there studying or something like that? Or, no, Courtney says she's studying, but then her sister's like, just don't take out the middle part.
And she's
like, don't play
already
out the centerfold.
And she's like, damn, I did it already.
Yeah, I did it again. Right?
There's a joke about her, like, beating off 5th graders. When she was in 5th grade.
That was
she was
weird.
Like, you told Mom. She's like, I didn't tell Mom. And she's like, I hate you. I'm like,
so how did Mom know? Or was she just like,
I don't
you
think her
didn't
mom
tell
knew at
Mom,
all.
right?
I think she was just teasing her.
Okay.
Just sisterly things. But then the
Extremely
trash cans fall
naive.
over again.
Yeah. Yep.
They're down.
We see another ski lift.
Right.
And I
They're not
think it's the same shot,
time. Yeah.
actually. And then the doorbell rings. Next
this
door.
is whenever. Sorry. So, yes. So the girls order a pizza, right?
Yes.
So the pizza's coming, but then this is whenever they're talking about the basketball game, and they're like, "Well, who made the 7 points?" So then,
this is where they call Coach Jana for no reason whatsoever again to have a basketball point conversation.
But the pizza arrives as they're talking to her on the phone,
right?
And so they walk up to the door, and they're like, "What's the damage?" And he goes, 6 so far, which is the first time we hear Russ Thorne talk.
Right. Which doesn't sound like the same as the Russ Thorne later on at all.
But Russ Thorne also, were pizzas ever $6? Especially like with delivery.
Yeah, but the kids
that's
are like,
what I was most upset
6
about.
Seems decent. Well, it is when you buy like 2 medium pizzas at Domino's or something
now.
right
they
now.
didn't even have $6. It took 3 people to get $6 together.
Well, they're also like 17.
I had more than $6 when I was
18.
17.
She reminded her.
That's right. I'm a woman now.
Yeah, I gotta throw my toys out. I'm 18.
Right? Yeah. But yeah. So they're scrounging up the money, and this is where Russ gets super ballsy. He's like, you know what? There's 5 people in this house, but let's just show them who I am.
Yeah.
You know? So they open the door, and the pizza guy's got not 1, but 2 eye sockets missing from drill holes. Like, I thought this was a really cool practical effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not just one shot. Like, the pizza guy gets dragged around the house a lot.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
not a lot of blood on the carpet.
No.
Oh.
No, well, he drained him. You know, when you make eye socket holes,
You gotta
it just
clean up a
drains the
bit,
blood. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Russ is extremely neat. He cleans up after
Well, he
himself.
has a lot of time,
and
I
he has a
guess.
lot of trunk space. He can fit 6 bodies in the same trunk if he really wants to. You know, a lot of dead hookers in that trunk.
So they like drag the pizza guy in. The coach is like, what's happening? And then the girls just hang up on the coach and they try dialing 911.
No, they do, and they actually
Oh.
speak to an operator, because this is my problem with the rest of the
Yeah.
movie is that like it seems like a while. They literally get out the words there's been a murder.
Yeah.
You know, send help, right? Before Russ cuts it.
Yeah.
Before he cuts the cord, right? And he's not even. This is how ballsy Russ is. He's listening to
teasing
them.
them.
He's listening
Yeah.
to them, and he's like, I'm gonna hold it
There
right
might be
here.
some hope that some help is going to come. But
Right? But there should be help on the way. They
Well,
should have been able to trace that call.
In 1980.
I don't know. In 1982, though? Yeah,
I think
don't know.
so. I think so.
I don't know. Someone will
Somebody,
tell us.
somebody write in. Yeah.
Right? You'll correct us.
Yeah, right? Be like, you could not trace the call in
I don't- did we-
1982.
Well, I don't even think they had caller ID in 1982, did they?
Well, they
No,
definitely
I,
did not.
I,
So then I don't think they could trace the call.
I don't know. I remember
Yeah.
watching William Shatner with Rescue 911, and that was a thing.
Rescue 911.
Anyway, the
so, yeah.
calls were emanating from inside the house.
So then at that point, we also have the
That wasn't even a William Shatner impression. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like, can I get a redo on that?
You've made your bed, now lie in it.
In the house.
But they're grabbing their knives and they're all like huddling together to stay safe.
I like that shot.
In
right?
the court,
and they're
But then one girl
hungry.
gets hungry and she's like, I want to eat the pizza. I don't care. There's a dead
On
body
top
in
of
the
the
pizza.
dead body.
That's after they decide that the boys are gonna make a run for it, and one is gonna go out the front door, one's gonna go out the
Yes.
back
Yeah.
door,
Right.
and someone's gonna go to the neighbors to ask for help, which is where
Valerie.
Valerie and
now,
Courtney are.
if this was a horror movie that took itself seriously, I'd be like, what the fuck, guys? Like, you
Yeah.
could actually take on Russ Thorne together, probably.
Oh, easily.
But
maybe one of
this
them
is
would
also a
be
movie
mortally
that
wounded.
is clearly setting up the let's split
Yeah.
up. Like,
Well, they're
on
still,
purpose.
they're teenagers.
Yeah.
That's not really your first thought, I guess, as a teenager
don't
versus
know.
like an old dude.
I don't know, like whoever versus whoever, and unless you're like, I don't know, there could be like 2 killers, like Scream, which wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'd always be like, guys, all 5 of us should just leave together right now. You know, like
Form a shield.
yeah, locked elbow to elbow.
Yeah.
Get a
right?
shield, get some weapons.
Yeah. Pretty sure John Miner's car is in the garage. Let's go.
Yeah. So before we get before the boys split off, the coach calls Courtney and Valerie, and she's like, "Hey, can you go over and check on them?" And Valerie's like, "I don't feel comfortable doing that." And Courtney's like, "You weren't invited, were you?" And Valerie's like, "You're really pretty right now." Like, she distracts it. She's like, even though she could be like, "No, I was invited. I just like one of them doesn't like." She could have explained herself, but it did. She like set herself up for being unpopular. She's like, "Okay, I guess I'm not."
Is this also the
like-
scene where Courtney's on the phone talking about her first French kiss, and there's like a duck lamp
Yeah.
just in the room, like one that you would put on the front lawn for
This
like
is-
Easter?
Yeah. That's whenever so the boys make a run for it. One boy goes in the garage and gets like a drill through the shoulder.
Right, because
Yes.
Russ misses his mark
Yeah,
again.
but it doesn't kill
right?
him. So,
He's got perfect when it came to the eye sockets, but he's like, oh God, sorry.
slippery.
so then the other boy goes over to
Valerie's
He's
house.
got
Yes.
performance issues. That's what it is. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so he knocks on her door, and Valerie is watching Hollywood Boulevard, which is another Roger Corman film. So, little wink, wink, nudge, nudge there.
See, I couldn't decide if the movie was trying to say, or I couldn't understand, I guess, if the movie was trying to say that movie was too loud and she couldn't hear the knocking, or she was just trying to avoid it because she was like, they're messing with me.
I think it was
the
too
movie
loud.
was too loud.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
because it did come off as loud.
Yeah.
Like
it did.
It was
but
like
then she also like
explosions, boom, bang.
She makes like looks over to where the door is. Like, I don't want to deal with it right now.
Well, I think she kind of maybe thought like maybe there was something at the door, but she didn't really think it.
Or also maybe because she's been like kind of like faked out twice by trash cans.
Yeah.
Like,
and by her
she's done
sister, because
with
remember
it.
her sister pulled a
That's
knife on her.
right.
Yeah, that was the
I
second
forgot
trash
about that.
can.
Totally skipped the knife part.
Yeah.
I was
Her
just trying to
sister's real
scare
great.
you
Get
with
you
a
back.
real knife.
She's like, it's just dull. It's fine.
This
Her
is a real
sister-
knife. There's other things in here that are completely rubber, like
Right.
the fire poker.
Oh, the fire poker.
So
Well, he runs to Valerie's house. What's that dude's name? The blonde one.
that's Jeff.
Is that Jeff? Who
I
runs?
think Jeff or Neil. I mean, they're both
He
interchangeable.
runs,
really.
but then like
They're both dudes.
the killer. He sees the killer coming, but doesn't decide to just keep running. Like, I don't know, if I knock on someone's door, help me, and then I see the killer coming, and they're obviously
run
not opening the
away.
door, I'm going to run away to the next house.
Yeah.
He runs right into Russ.
Yes, he just stands there and
And
lets
then they
him
have a little.
They do
little-
have a good little fight.
a little
yeah.
bit.
But-
and it's a stabbing montage between that and the stabbing in Hollywood Boulevard,
But
which
it
was
happens
creative.
Which is
just
pretty cool,
barely
yeah.
out of the like the
Peripheral.
Yeah, like right,
the peripherals of the front door.
right. Yeah, I got what you meant. The front
So
door
then,
peripherals.
like-
we all got them.
After all the banging on the door, then Valerie gets up and is like, I guess I'll check to see if there was something at the front door. She like goes and looks, but it's like he's
Right,
carrying
I
the
thought,
body
I thought it was
away.
Courtney was
Rice is like,
leaving.
gotta hide this body.
When
Well,
did
no,
Courtney-
that's the
when did
second-
Courtney leave the house?
Courtney leaves
They
the
leave
house.
together.
No.
No, because Courtney
Right?
leaves first, and she sees her, Valerie sees her in the window.
Yeah.
And then she comes out.
Oh, because like there's a lot of curtain draws in this movie
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I get confused when the timeline's happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so he carries away the body, and this is where he's like, he puts another body in the trunk, and is
And
like,
he's counting.
1, 2, oh shit, right? Because I guess Jeff or
Other
Neil,
Jeff. Other Jeff.
Was
other
alive.
Jeff, the guy he got through the shoulder, and I guess didn't check if he was dead,
Yeah.
has crawled to the back door.
And isn't like knocking on the back door, being like, "Help! I'm still alive." He's like petting the door, and like, "Oh,
It's a pretty door. Yeah.
like not really making an attempt to even open the door
Right.
either.
And the girls are on the other side of the door, being like, "Should we let him in? Should we not?"
Well, I
What
don't think
is
they knew
it?
that was him, though. I think
Well, meaning like, should
They
we
just
open
saw,
the door?
Yeah,
I
they
mean.
just saw shadows.
shadow. I
Right.
think they assumed that was the killer, though. That
Possibly.
But that's why I
yeah.
would have been like, "Help, please."
Right. Well, maybe he like drilled through his lung.
I mean, it kind of was like above heart area.
It was.
I don't know.
I mean, still, whatever.
still not enough blood.
Yeah.
We're picking apart a satirical film.
Well, that's also like he was sitting in that doorstep, and then so the girls see the shadow from inside the house, and then Russ comes up and just drills the guy and kills him, and then
Right.
blood goes underneath. Like there's a little puddle of blood after drilling him a second time, which I'm like, So then this is whenever Valerie and Courtney both have their like following each other over there.
Which they don't see any blood in the yard because the other guy was already killed. Is there not blood?
Oh no. Well, okay. So we skipped one little thing before Valerie and Courtney investigated that area. Is that basically Jackie hears somebody at the front door. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Oh,
like,
yes.
right? And they're like, Jackie, no! And she opens the door just like immediately, right? They already were at
Well-
the back door speculating, like, should we open, right? And it's like, no, right? But then in the front door, they're like, fuck it, that might be Neil. We can't have this happen twice.
Yeah.
And she opens the door and immediately throat slash by Russ, and then that's when the other two go upstairs and barricade themselves in the bedroom. Meanwhile, Courtney and Valerie have come over,
And they're in the backyard and can hear nothing.
right?
Nothing.
Don't see a puddle of blood at the back door.
They-
Don't see the fingerprints that are actually we
Clearly
as an
blood.
audience can see on the back
Yeah.
door. Like, Russ didn't clean up after himself
No.
properly. But then again, like I said, he's confident, he's conky, he doesn't
But still, I feel like for a
care.
drill, it's going to spread a lot of like spray.
It would
Yeah.
spray, yeah,
there's not enough
from the
blood.
twirly.
I have an issue with this blood. I want more.
Right.
And yeah, but that's the thing. I'm like, why does he hide the bodies if he doesn't care? Like, there's this whole weird thing. He'll be like, I gotta move this body. He does it with the pizza guy later, like where he's like, I gotta get this pizza guy and dump him down the basement stairs. Well, it's like, why?
I feel like it's like a weird counting thing. Like he's into counting.
I think he's a collector.
He's a collector, yeah.
Right?
He wants to collect eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two girls barricade themselves upstairs.
Store these bodies.
Then, yeah. So the two girls barricade themselves upstairs, and this is whenever they're in the room and they're talking, and they hear Courtney and Valerie being like, "Hello, what you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, maybe it's a trap," and like she's working with.
Speculate.
Like they're working with him.
Must be the killer.
And it's real. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of mean for a friend."
Right.
Whatever. But I guess they weren't actually even friends yet,
Right.
or at all. And so Valerie and Courtney are downstairs, and they're like, "We can't help him. We can't save him." But then Russ is coming in.
But they don't even know anybody's. They don't know anybody is the killer yet. They don't know that until this next kill gets put into the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he comes through the window, and then there's this like slow reveal turnaround.
His eyes are open the entire time. He's not blinking.
Right? Oh God, I gotta cry so hard.
Because this is when Valerie and Courtney are in the backyard, and Courtney still hasn't.
Right.
Courtney's laying on the ground, and Valorie's like, "What are you doing?"
Right, and she's like, "Me."
Yeah. She turns into a horse.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And did they have a little brawl? And this is where Russ stabs Kim, right? Mm-hmm. And then does like a slow waltz turn with her, and dips her, and then lays her down slowly, right? And then we cut over to Courtney and Valerie.
Then that's whenever they go to the back door and they see
Trish
blood,
has
but they don't do anything.
Trish has hid herself in a plastic garment bag.
And hands up on it.
Right. Well, this is the thing.
She knows he's upstairs. Why wouldn't she just run outside?
Okay, so this happens now, and this happens later when Courtney's under the couch. But, everybody waits till Russ passes them and then immediately, reveals themselves to the audience. Where it's like, Russ is like, I'm going to walk past there. And then it's like, hand on garment bag. Or Courtney's like, head poking out from under couch. Stay where you are. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you were good. He checked the area and didn't find you.
At some
Just
point, he's going to get bored and leave.
Right.
Like, oh, they left too.
I got bodies to hide.
So then, Courtney and Valerie are downstairs, and at this point, Russ has already hid Kim's body in the fridge.
Okay. So he killed Kim.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Yes.
Right? And then comes downstairs with her body, cleans out the refrigerator.
If you have
with its shelves.
Yeah.
I want to know if he ate it all.
I don't know. But
let's score some food. Courtney's wanting to take
He's like, my trunk is full. I have no other place. Refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's your first thought?
Well, you want to keep her on ice.
He's not keeping the rest on ice.
I know. He's like, I want one to be fresh.
I love her. But I was like, what is all this effort?
So much,
it's so
much effort for just putting a body in a fridge.
Yeah.
Because have you ever tried to take all the shelves out of a fridge to hide in it? Because I have. It's effort. It really is. Because you're like the kid. Okay, another piece of movie history here. You are the kid example of why they rewrote Back to the Future. Do you know this story? No.
Back to the Future the time machine used to be a refrigerator before they turned it into a DeLorean car.
But then the fridge, the ceiling. Oh.
No.
Well, whenever
they
you
were
throw
afraid
a fridge
that kids were going to play pretend and lock themselves into refrigerators and suffocate to death, so they rewrote it into a car. Could you imagine Back to the Future with a refrigerator?
In the
fridge.
Doc, get in the fridge.
I didn't go anywhere.
Now I'm really cold.
Well, that's why they have whenever you throw fridges away, because kids were hiding in them in dumps.
I don't think the compressor's working, Doc. It's not cold enough.
But if you ever throw a fridge away, you have to rip the ceiling
degrees Celsius. It would have been horrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It's just I've never seen any Back to the Future movies.
Oh.
So I'm just like, oh, cool.
My face.
We're going to get you back. Back where? back to the freezer.
Oh, that one I got. I got that one.
Well, Doc, this is freezing.
We're way off topic.
Yeah.
My face hurts.
But that's like you are the prime example of whether like we got to rewrite this. There's kids going to be climbing into refrigerators. You apparently did.
Oh yeah, it's a great hiding spot. Who checks a fridge?
I apparently Courtney,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But not once, twice.
Another great hiding spot though is the closet. I was in there for many years and never found out.
I'm gonna just start getting like morning show like buzzers like. Brr, brr.
Go.
But then we get like one of my favorite bits from the entire movie of Courtney like trying to steal food, which is like what I would want to do, but I wouldn't voice that concern. But she's like opening the fridge and Kim's like falling out of it, but then pulling herself back in every time the door closes. It happens like 2 times, and then eventually she's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna steal food.
So the actress who played Kim said that like she was supposed to basically hold herself up, but it was difficult. So like the only thing she could grab onto was like the housing of the light bulb, right? And had to hold it there for like a count of 5, and then was supposed to like spill out, right? But it was difficult to do that, and that's all I got.
Be afraid of ripping that out on accident.
Yeah, right.
So Kim's body like tumbles out, and they're like, "Ooh, she's fresh."
Yeah, she's fresh.
And she
and she's super fresh because her eyes are like da-da. I don't know, but it was just da-da. It's the dumb. That's my dumb noise because she was like mer, mer. Her eyes were totally like not in the first when she first falls out, but when they cut back to her and she's like supposed to have like dead face, she's like mer. And then they're like, "Oh my God, run!" And this is where Russ Thorne's like, "I hear people," and comes down the steps.
They see his
It's
shadow.
like he smelt them. He's like, people.
I love people. And so Valerie locks herself in the basement, and Courtney hides under the
just
couch.
shuts the door.
Well, yeah,
I was like, she just goes in the basement.
that's true because then he takes and he was like,
I gotta move
I
this
heard
pizza
people,
boy from behind the couch.
but I don't know where they are, so I'm gonna let them come to me.
I'm just going to take a nap.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the place of the pizza boy. Right?
But like, who put the pizza boy behind the couch?
He was in front of the couch, under the blanket. So basically, that was Russ's plan.
Because remember when she was like, I want to eat the pizza. And they're like, let's just cover him so we can't see him.
Yeah,
so
but
we
I
don't feel
swear
bad
they
about
like
eating
put the pizza boy behind the couch after that. Because then he drags it from behind the couch into the basement.
Maybe.
Because they show what's her butt underneath the couch.
Yeah, but Russ is definitely, his plan is to pretend he's the pizza boy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, so I want to make sure we're on the same page there.
The pizza boy's body did move a bunch because the pizza boy was away from the fireplace.
Because the girls are like, let's disturb the scene of a murder.
But he's away from the fireplace, and then they eat the pizza, and they don't move the pizza boy again. But then somehow the pizza boy either ends up behind or in front of the couch, but he's parallel with it now.
I just assumed it was Russ who did it right before his little nap.
Yeah, he just loves moving bodies. He doesn't love the act of murder, but he's like, moving the bodies is really where I get off.
I don't really want to kill them, but how else am I going to move bodies around the house?
It's like his own dollhouse with dead bodies. So, oops.
So he lays down, and Coach Jana shows up on the scene, wearing her Speedo shirt.
Right.
Product placement.
Right? She's got to establish that she is the coach at all times.
And
Before,
that she's sponsored.
Full Adidas tracksuit. Now, Speedo. Well, because, they're changing sports next week.
Which she did not
swimming.
Speedo over there.
Not at all.
She took a long time. I was like, SoCal takes a while, but if they're in the same city and in the same high school district, they're going to be real close to each other.
She was not the pace. So she shows up and is like, "What's this dead body?" Like immediately, it was like, "Well, I guess you would too." Kind of investigate what's his body shape and.
If there was something under a blanket, I'd be like, "Ooh, I gotta leave."
Yeah, right. Nobody's answering me, and there looks like a body there.
Right.
So, like, that's when he's like, ta-da, with his eyes super wide. Like, it's the goofiest face. And then they have a drill poker off. Like, it's like a showdown.
I thought it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun. And this is where
Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney trips Russ.
Yes.
Right? And then she beats him with a rubber poker.
Yes.
Which I was like, just stab him with the poker or beat him with like the end that curves down. See, there have been multiple movies where there's been like a fire poker in it and it's used to attack someone.
Sure.
But they use it as like a riding crop. They don't use it as like a legit
stabby.
Poker or like a hooked
Stabby.
beating stick. They're just kind of, they always, I don't know what's wrong with people. Why don't they know how to kill someone with a fire poker?
I think when you're panicking, you're not really thinking like, how am I going to use this? You just kind of do what comes to mind first, I guess.
Yeah, I guess me, panic or not, I'd be like, I need to beat, if I'm going to beat somebody like just with the broadside of that poker, I'm at least going to be beating him in the head.
Yeah, in the face.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, right.
Or like if
Straight
this is
up
a murderer,
face.
I'm going to really try and do the most damage so
I'm gonna
I don't
try to
get
murder him
murdered.
back.
Well, I think my strategy would be eyes and then nutsack. That would be what I would do.
The eyes are, or the nutsack. The eyes are the nutsack of the face.
Well, I mean, Valerie kind of goes for the manhood later on and clips off the drill bit.
Oh,
But before that, she's trying to get what is the
Okay, first,
I love this.
It's like she has a million options in front of her. All will do. It's like grab a
hatchet.
hammer, grab the hatchet, anything, right? And she's like, but this
Corden.
is part of that like satirical parody thing. Like it's so clear that this is like for the laughs.
I loved as she's running and the electrical cord
Is
going,
unspoiling.
but it's like like
You just
making
know
those
it's
rope
coming.
noises. And it's cutting between her running and then cutting back to it, and she runs with such purpose that like
Why is
I'm
she
so
running
excited
with
for her
it
to,
on?
Yeah, I was like, that's dangerous, and I'm like,
and it didn't hurt her when
She's like, yeah.
but also like she falls on the steps and she picks up the cord and she's like, boom, 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 boom.
Well, damn.
Like, whoops.
Meanwhile, this is where Trish comes out of nowhere, like, yeah.
With the knife in slow motion and like
where was she? And then she's just like, I think the coast is clear.
yeah. But she stabs him and then is
But
immediately
one stab, like beep.
she stabs him and is just like, oh, ooh.
I didn't know that's what knives do.
Did she stab him in the neck? I thought she stabbed him in
I
the
thought
neck.
she just stabbed him in the back.
know.
But
Because she like stabs him and like, oh, why is
Wherever
he
she
down?
stabbed him, he's not showing it.
yeah,
No, he's not bleeding.
at all.
And then he gets back up, and then Valerie is like, my turn, yeah, right? And he's like, oh no, and kind of like
It's like Mario and Luigi.
This is
Mario!
exactly like you said before. It's like the Benny Hill, like like literally they're running around the kitchen, and then they're outside, and he's like, you know what? Oh, I don't like water, because the actor didn't like water. Actually, apparently this scene, it was freezing outside, and he didn't like water to begin with because he wasn't a really good swimmer. So like he was really method, because this is where he was like, whoa, water, I'm gonna turn around and fight, I guess.
Danger,
right?
liquid.
Because he could have just ran away and escaped. He was
could've.
literally overpowered. He did kill Jana. I forgot to mention that. He swiped her with the bit, and her intestines poured out.
Which he kind of gets the same thing done to him with a machete.
Yes.
But like is fine. But this is also after he has been stabbed. And
but
in the
first she
scene
cuts,
we're in,
she cuts the drill with the like butter knife. Like
It's a machete. I feel like
butter knife.
it looked like a butter knife.
An oversized butter knife.
It's a really weak drill bit. He's cutting through all
Yeah,
his bodies, and then she
right?
just cuts it with a
well,
knife.
you know,
like,
after
a whole bunch of bodies, I
I mean,
guess
wore down.
it
after
wore off.
12 deaths, you know, you kind of the warranty is just void at this point.
Yeah.
And so
Warranty's void.
and she chops off his hand, and he's like, "No!"
So upset, like that was my jerking hand. What'll I write checks with now?
How am I gonna jerk off to all these bodies I've collected?
I'll have to nub my penis.
But I loved you.
That's
You're
also
pretty.
Well, it's like the first
You're
time he
all
talks.
pretty. Yeah.
He's
we
like,
skipped that, but it doesn't matter.
It's
You're all
it's like a
pretty. I
creepy-
love you. You're going to like it.
It's a good, like, weird moment from him, but it also it wasn't enough payoff.
Which is another inspiration. He actually read Helter Skelter.
Oh.
And basically read that
Why didn't he just
their
listen to the
motivation for
song?
them is the
He just read the lyrics.
their
Pretty
motivation was the
weird.
fact that they actually like fell in love with the people that they killed. So he was like,
Oh.
that's kind of my
Yeah.
right. But that wasn't
He's putting more into this
way
this
more
character
like,
than
I
the
feel
movie
like,
put into the character.
So when I saw his interview, I was like, I feel like nobody told you that this was actually satire.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think that like what he did made the character a lot better than what the movie gave the character.
I don't know. I feel like for me, maybe it's just because I'm used to all the other slasher flicks.
Yeah.
But seeing his face right from the beginning made
Yeah.
him not scary at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like, maybe by the end, reveal his face and be like, this was a guy running around with no mask, right? And then you're like, oh, he's
I kind of would have liked it if
creepy.
he was someone that they knew. Like
Yeah.
this whole time he's running around
It's
the house.
the neighbor.
It's
Yeah.
a neighbor or somebody that, they knew.
Or like a guy
He's
in
just
leather.
crazy
like,
convict.
with a guitar.
Don't
Yeah.
get me started. So angry.
So he falls in the pool
Which was super
because
anticlimactic.
she slashed his
Yeah.
gut, right? Chopped off his hand, then slashed his gut, right? Then they're like, oh, we're
But he's
okay.
got super villain complex.
Right, so he has to come back one more time. And then this is where Trish comes back one more time and it's like, yeah!
Right?
Again, but misses this time.
And he smacks her. But then Courtney tries to get in
I was
on
like,
the
is he
action.
smacking her with his nub?
I was like, ooh, ow, ooh, gross.
And then he runs towards Val, and Val has the machete ready, and he impales himself in it.
Yeah. Which I felt like was probably easy to avoid.
Yeah.
Could have just like not jumped on her like that.
Sure.
And then they're all just kind of like, they look at each other and they're crying. And I love Courtney, who's just kind of like, I'm bummed, but I really didn't know many of these people. He's like,
Right.
well, okay.
And
And
then
roll
credits. Right?
The whole ending sequence was like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
But, I mean, jeez. So,
crap.
Abby, you're familiar with the W's, right? Who, what, where, when, and why's?
Yes.
What do you think?
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I mean, I thought the drill thing was kind of interesting, instead of using like a hammer or like an axe or something like that. But again, the whole issue with me was just the whole, how is he getting so much power to this drill?
Yeah.
And where can I buy it? So, but overall, I enjoyed it.
I'm with
Nice.
Abby. I just loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
I think
better
this
than
is
the
this is a good scary movie to show people that normally don't like scary movies.
Yeah.
Because it's not over the top. It is like, it's got spook, but it doesn't have like, they're not like, they aren't jump scares to me. And so people that they hate those jump scares, I think these would be enough gentle for them to where it's like, you could show this on, like, if you just want to have a tame Halloween with like you and 5 friends and just drink and hang out, like, this is a good one. Because it's just kind of, you can talk over it, you can pay attention, but it's not overly scary. You're not going to go to bed like, I'm going to die tonight.
Well, and it has like
Unless you
nudity,
watch
but it's
the
like
second
not
one.
the prime focus of the movie.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
nudity, like I feel like a lot of slasher films are.
So I would say that this movie is definitely, if it's like, hey, we're going to do a horror marathon, like we're going to have
is a good
fun.
one.
And
Yeah.
this is definitely one of those. I'd say that it is
It's a slumber party movie.
Yeah.
I would watch this at a
Yeah.
slumber
right?
party.
It's
Exactly.
a drinking party movie. But I'd also say that if it's like, hey, if you want to see a movie that's inspired by some of your favorite slashers, but then in a way was like an inspiration for some of your later favorites, such as like Scream, and the fact that like it's
Scream
extremely
2,
referential
yeah.
and like
van
it doesn't
scene.
take itself too seriously. This is your movie.
Yeah.
If you're looking for an iconic killer, not so much, right? But
But I feel like this guy kind of seems more like he would be like a real dude. Like I could
Yeah.
totally imagine
it was,
like
it was more psychological in his
Yeah.
performance than it was like, I'm going to go buy the driller killer costume for Halloween. Cause,
like I like that he was just dressed
like,
as
who
like a
are
regular
you? I'm
dude.
Denim Man.
I'm Clashy Clash.
All right. So, yeah, that just about does it for us. I'd like to give a special shout-out and thank you to Abbie, who will also be joining us on Slumber Party Massacre 2. So if you enjoyed this review...
It's a whole different beast.
It's not even the same
Don't
movie.
let the title of the movie think you're in for, like, another good treat. It's a 180 from good.
The Rockabilly Massacre, and I'd also like to throw out that like I mentioned earlier, our YouTube DVD comedy commentary on this first movie is out today as well. Search for Bombs Away. Search for the Drinking Party Massacre, and it will come right up on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube. That's why I'm kind of like doing this workaround and being like, search for this exactly, because we don't have a URL until we get 100 subscribers on YouTube. So we're really trying to push that. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'm going to go check out that, make sure you hit subscribe while you're at it. At the same time, make sure that you follow us on all the social medias. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and they're all at Bombs Away Show. We made it very easy for you. Same with our Podbean, where you can find all the episodes. That's bombsawayshow.com. Or you can contact us at contact@bombsawayshow.com.
If you want to reset, if you want to watch Slumber Party Massacre, it is on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I forgot about this.
It's so easy to access.
Yes, and
same with number 2. But we'll get there.
Right. With that being said, though, Amy Jones, if you heard this and you're like, "What? My movie's on YouTube right now?" Keep it on YouTube, Amy. Like,
Please.
Share it with the world.
Oh, there's a whole plethora of these, like, 1980s high school. Like, there were so many other films that I was like, I want to watch everything else
actually,
that this
Slumber
film
Party
is telling
1,
me to
2,
watch.
and 3 are all on there. There's so many. So definitely, if you're interested in checking this movie out from the beginning, well, why would you have listened to this first?
Right.
And like, we're at the end of the episode. I'm like, maybe you should watch that first.
Yeah, this is one film that I would recommend you watch.
Absolutely.
First.
Yeah.
The second one,
hard pass.
listen to the podcast instead.
Yeah, we watched it, and you don't have to at all. Yeah, we'll take you through it. So that's about it. Thank you, Abbie.
Thanks
for having me.
You're welcome. And for Bombs Away, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And I love you. You'll like it.
Hey everyone, this is Jarrett with Bombs Away Podcast. I'm here at the Frida Cinema, once again recording for your all's pleasure. Frida Cinema, that sounds pretty familiar. Oh yeah, it's because we bring it up so much. It's where we live, it's where we record. Now, you may know of the Frida Cinema, but you may not know enough about the Frida Cinema. So the Frida Cinema is a program of the Long Beach Cinematique, and it's located in Santa Ana in Southern California. It services neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to educating, connecting, and enriching communities through the art of cinema, which is a pretty amazing experience. But how do they do that? Well, one of the ways they do that is with shadow casting. So shadow casting, if you don't know, is whenever they have a cast below the screen acting out the movie as the film is projected behind them, which is pretty neat. But that's not all. They also get audience participation, so you feel like you're part of the film, that you have that amazing enriching experience. Some of the films that we do shadow casts with are Little Shop of Horrors, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Repo the Genetic Opera, and The Forbidden Zone. When was the last time you heard of The Forbidden Zone? Am I right, ladies? Other things that we do, if you're not into Shadowcast, but you love that audience participation, are special events. We've done Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and it was a lights and sound spectacular, and there were also words along the bottom of the screen that helped you know when to participate in the film. And maybe you just want to watch a film, which is okay, because the Frida Cinema does show films, but maybe you want to watch a film in a different atmosphere. Well, the Frida Cinema has rooftop showings. Some of the films that have shown on our rooftop are the most recent Beauty and the Beast, or Ghostbusters, and Jurassic Park. One of the cool things that happened with Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park is we actually had guests. For instance, Jurassic Park had the guest of the Jeep Wrangler, you know, that nice tan and red Jeep that we see just driving all around that park. It's an amazing photo opportunity, and it's something you get to brag about to your friends and post on that Instagram. If you want more information about the showtimes, location, and everything film and entertainment related to the Frida Cinema, just go to www.thefridacinema.org. You can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema and on Instagram and Twitter at thefridacinema. The Frida Cinema, for the filmmakers, the film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?